All right, I'm on. Welcome, welcome. I'm Courtney. Welcome to my channel. I also want to say welcome to my post because I am going to be networking and I am going to be getting this out on Facebook and Instagram, Vimeo. There's all sorts of different places I'm going to go with this. So this will be a tarot channel and how I read things and my intentions on where I want to go with this is very non-traditional. Reading very non-traditionally when I read my cards. I really want you to get a new perspective on how it is I'm reading. Because when you have a new perspective, it changes your outlook. It changes, that particular situation in a very beneficial way. It can change your day. It can change, are you going to wake up and are you going to be happy? Are you going to be, are you going to be positive today? Are you going to be negative? Like, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? So I just feel like if there's certain things when you do actually change your perspective, when you change what it is that you recognize that you're doing and it is just, it's not working for you. It is so beneficial. I'm not going to say that this is going to happen overnight. Like, poof, I'm a new person. Nope, not going to happen to you that way. But as long as you're conscious of what it is, you need to acknowledge, you will be successful, fighting that battle. It is a battle. It won't be easy. But you can do it. You absolutely can do it. You need to be dedicated enough to do it, which is the number one issue. But I also feel like if you look at things in a different perspective, it's so eye-opening. It's so, it's just different. I'll break it down to as I talk about certain stuff. But I just want to say, I'm obviously nervous. I've never done this. I have like all these notes and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, you know what, like, it's almost like I can't do the whole note thing because this has to come from my heart and what my intention is behind this channel. So when I look down, just, it's fine, so I'm a big doodler, always been a big doodler. That probably sounds crazy, but you know, I'm going to touch base on my journey a little bit. Bottom line is, I am going to read tarot, and I do want you to look at it in a different perspective, and it is going to be very non-traditional. I do want you to get out of your head, right off the bat, like, any preconceived ideas that you have about, tarot. It's nonsense. If you were to actually really look at the history, it's mind-blowing. Somewhere down the road, people just looked at it like, oh my gosh, like, all these horrible things are gonna happen to you, and it's doomsday, and there's so much worse. Like, I mean, come on, like, it's just my way of relating to, like, the universe and having them guide me in a way so it's more beneficial. It's not like black magic, or there's so many avenues that people think of when you think about tarot, and it's just, to me, it's nonsense. And out of all people, I was the most skeptical. Like, as a child, like, even passing like a store or my sister breaking out the Ouija board was like, oh my God, Ma, like, how did you even allow that in the house? Like, what? It's just, that's where I was. I mean, I slept in the middle of the summer with my window shut because I was so afraid of, like, God forbid, like, a spirit, or just, God forbid, like, God forbid my feet hung over my bed. Like, I'm talking, like, super superstitious and super freaked out when it came to anything relating to spirit or scary movies. To this day, I don't do scary movies. Super scaredy cat. Um, but I want you to get out of your head right now what you think tarot is, okay? And I do want to break it down very differently than anybody else. Even when I'm using a traditional deck, I'm still going to break it down my way. So people have a new outlook on things and help guide people in a certain situation, especially when it comes to a journey. A journey is the hardest thing that I think anyone can go through. I mean, it was more difficult than my divorce. So it started, I'd say, I don't know. I started this journey about 3 years ago. It became a very spiritual journey for me almost 2 years ago. Definitely almost 2 years ago. So anyway, it's like I'm not even gonna do the note thing because and I can't. So for me, it started probably when I got a divorce and it was going through a lot and it was there's kids involved, so that's pretty tough. And I had to really look at this in a different perspective. Like I needed to be optimistic. Like I needed to be that person. I couldn't look at things negatively. I really wanted to, not that I really wanted to, it was my first reaction to, like, oh my God, blah, 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 like, is this happening? Like, is he really going to act like this? And, I got kids and, you got to protect your kids and, your kids know you better than anybody. They know when you're up, they know when you're down, they know when something's off. They do. So it was, I had to stay pretty positive about it as much as the inside was like, like really, like, but you do what you got to do. But I just remember laying in bed some nights and just being like, I just want a new beginning. I just want a new beginning. Like, just give me a new beginning. Like, I wasn't that person where it was just like, it wasn't like, why is this happening to me? Like, boo-hoo. Like, it wasn't really like that for me. It was just, I just purely wanted a new intention. I mean, a new beginning with good intention. So I don't know. It's like all of a sudden, I think how my journey started. Well, I know how my journey started, but that's a whole nother story, and I don't really want to go into that because that's a whole nother video, which I will eventually talk about. But for me, all of a sudden, it was astrology, and I don't know how I came across it, but that's what it was. And I started learning about the stars and the moon and the planets, and then it was just like all these houses and just like where they're at, and then there's your sun sign and there's a ascending sign, and then there's your moon sign, and then your Venus, and I'm a Cancer sun, so I realized like when I started getting into tarot, I realized I relate more to my moon sign than anything, which is strange because I'm not even on a cusp, but it's just kind of like how it works. So when you do go to a tarot channel, people will tell you, make sure you find out your signs because it is important to know all your signs so you may relate to one sign more than the other sign. Depending on the situation and where you're at and where the house is at and where the planets lie. So that's important. I'll get into that, another time with readings. But, from astrology, I went to numerology. Definitely didn't go to neurology. I know I got into a lot of stuff, but that wasn't one of them. And I'm really looking at numerology and I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm reading it and I'm like, oh my God, I did this as a child. Like, as a child, I broke my numbers down like this. Like, and I didn't even realize it. As a child, I just thought, like, what am I doing? Like, this is not how I do math, but I still broke stuff down that way. And I didn't think much of it, obviously, and you know, I moved on. Um, so when I saw it all over again, I was just like, holy shit, like I've always been in tune with like the universe. Um, but just kind of like dismissed, well, didn't dismiss it, just moved on from it because I was a child, you know? So, um, from there, you know, I don't know how it happened. I started getting into crystals and realized the power behind the crystal and the energy behind a crystal. Um, it's like reciprocity. It's give or take with energy. You know, sometimes they need your energy, and then other times, you know, you need their energy, and um, they're pretty powerful. And that's a whole nother story too. Um, but from there, I ended up on a YouTube link. Not really sure how it happened, and of course, you know, it popped up and it was tarot, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Like, do I hit play? Do I not hit play? Because I'm probably like one of the biggest scaredy cats you'll ever meet. Like, I still to this day don't do scary movies. Like, my dad once got me to watch Hellraiser, and I don't know. That was it. Like, I don't think I've ever watched Friday the 13th, like Jason's. Like, that's just not my thing, you know. Very superstitious when it comes to certain stuff for sure. But I hit play, and it was pretty interesting. But I kept going back to it. Like, which is strange because it's like, it's almost like I'm a jumper. Okay. I'm not talking about like jumping dimensions. Like, that's a whole nother story, but a jumper as in like, I went from astrology to numerology to crystals and now to tarot, and I'll probably say tarot and tarot all different ways. The majority of the time I say tarot, but, it's just for a good year, it's like I put myself through school. Like, this is what I did. Like, I broke things down like no other. Like, I was a full-time student learning all about the universe. And it's so crazy that I learned about planets and moon cycles and so many things like way before like I even realized tarot was going to be part of my life. And I don't think people understand is the way these cards are activated. It's like you need to understand where the planets are and how energy works. You need to be at one with the universe and the planetary system in order to really break down like tarot. I don't think people understand that. I'll touch base with that in another video. But so I think I was going to get a crystal, and I came across a deck of cards. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna get it. I bought myself a deck of cards. Like, I did that, yeah. Court did that. Shocking revelation. Like, even to myself, shocking. Even to my family was probably like, what? Like, has she lost her mind? So, you know, weeks into my cards, I started realizing, like, God, like, I'm relating to my, like, I'm watching these readers and what the cards are coming out, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm getting the same cards. Like my deck of cards are talking to me, like, holy shit, like, holy crap, you know? Pretty powerful. So, Castle, get down. Sorry, my cat's bothering me, being a little, nuts. Sorry, I got sidetracked. But, they were really talking to me, and it was like inspiring. I'm just like, wow, like it's just, it was so overwhelming. Trying to learn what these cards actually meant, because I started off with a very traditional deck of cards, because I was told, when I went to go purchase the crystal that these would probably be the easiest, you know, deck of cards to learn, which for me was just not the case, but that's fine. So I realized, like, over time and as I got different decks to work with, I realized I broke things down differently. And if somebody would have broke things down differently, like broke those cards down differently from me like 6 months ago on YouTube, I would have been doing this 6 months ago. But the thing is, it's okay it didn't happen like that, because I needed to break down things the way I needed to break things down so I understood them. And I also realized the way I was breaking it down and the way I was really like relating is what was changing my day and my perspective and how I looked at things. And I think that's the reason why this is went down the way it did, is because I needed to learn my way. I needed to understand my way of thinking and how to break, these cards down. And I think that's why I'm here, because I don't break them down like people normally do. Like, obviously, like when I'm reading and, you get this reading and, you're looking, and you have to use, I mean, obviously you throw some traditional tarot in there. Obviously, like if you see it, you got to call it out. So I get that, but I also break down certain cards different ways than different readers, and I think obviously that's why I'm here, is to break things down differently, not only to use my intuition, but to just kind of explain how the story's gonna go, like how your week is gonna go for you. I'm not here to be a fortune teller. Like, I'm not here to tell you your future. Like, no, I'm here to guide you. Like, this is the situation you're probably in, and maybe if you go about it this way and you look at it in a different way, it might be more beneficial for you, and maybe your week can go a little smoother, bottom line. So another thing I wanted to tell you is that my decks, I also refer to them as my mysticals. I name a lot of things. My friends can vouch for me. My car has a name. Okay. My Christmas tree had a name this year. So I call my decks and I refer to them as my mysticals. Plural with an S, because there are 78 of them, depending on what deck you get. But I was looking at these cards, when I first got them, and I was just like, gosh, I'm like, they're so mysterious, but yet, like, it was kind of like looking at pictures where it wasn't even a picture, it's like a portrait, and it was just like so fantasizing, and it was just breathtaking. So I was like, oh, all right, so mysterious and magical, and so I was like, mysticals, perfect, perfect. So that's my name, and that's what I name my cards. And that's why I named the channel Mystical Moment, because the definition of mystical is an inspiring sense of spiritual awe, which is perfect because I want everybody to have that moment, I think I want to do different kind of readings. Certain different readings I'm going to break down a certain way, so people understand them a little better. I want to talk about, what kind of journey you're on. I have a deck of cards, a Ganesha deck, that is just so beautiful and so touching, and it knows where you're at on your journey. I want to use that, I want to do love readings. I want to do, because, love is important. And I think people really go to the love page, like the love tarot, because it's just so important to them. And love is important, but I also think, like, I also look at it differently, because, well, here's the thing. Like, when I do my love reading, I want to use, there's a deck and a lot of readers use them, is Sexual Magic, and they are very explicit cards. But I think for me, the reason why I want to use them is because they are raw. They are, and raw to me is pure. And in the same sense, harsh truth for sure. So maybe I'll call my love readings Raw Love. Ha, there you go. Nobody take that. That's mine. but these cards, it shows where you're at. Like, it shows the level of passion that can come out through a card. It shows where you're at in your union. I just relate to them because I am very passionate about what it is I'm doing. And love is very important. It is nice to have that, you know, to have that at the end of the day, to come home and have that, but don't get lost in it. It's very important to love yourself, and loving yourself is not easy. It's not like, oh, I love myself. I'm so confident. Like, I got this. Like, that's not what it means to love yourself. Before you can actually, you know, really take care of another, you really, really have to learn how to love yourself. I thought for sure I had that part down. I didn't. Big eye opener. But just another lesson I learned. So, with every lesson you learn, your path gets, you know, a little easier. So it's important to love yourself, you know, before you can really take care of another the way you truly should take care of another. And when it's reciprocated, what a better union the two of you will have, and what a better connection. And it really does make a difference in a relationship, especially if something's going on and, you know, and you're not really understanding what's going on, and you can't comprehend it, so you look at it a different way. And when you do that, you know, you have a more of a successful relationship. Definitely not a relationship expert, but I do know what it's like to love and want and crave and have those intentions and have those passionate moments. So I do want to break it down in a very raw way. And if you have, you know, a great reading that week, then awesome. You know, I don't know what it's going to be, you know, a few weeks from now, but I do know, in any sense, if it was to be like a reading where there's like a third party, you know, I'm going to let you know, obviously. Most people would be like, oh, you're dealing with third party. Like, come on, what are you doing? You know better. But at the same time, like, so many people put themselves in that situation, and it's just not that easy to just be like, all right, I'm leaving. Like, I don't deserve this, like, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, poof, the next day it's like he's out of your head or she's out of your head. We know it doesn't work that way, you know? So if I can break it down in a different way and try to relate, maybe to that particular situation with you guys, you get a new sense of a renewed sense, just a renewed sense. I just want to break things down so differently. I want to touch base on a lot of things. Even generals and, you know, soulmate relationships, life partner, twin mate, twin flames, you know, moon cycles. There's so many different readings. I really look forward to doing. Trying to think. Lost my train of thought. I'm a little nervous. Trust me, this is not something I've ever done. Even my friends and family are just gonna be like, "Who is this person? Who is this person?" You know, a lot of people don't understand what a spiritual journey is unless you actually are hanging out with somebody who's been on a spiritual journey and can understand and comprehend. And I know your parents and your friends and people try to be there for you, and obviously you're only sharing, you know, so much information because you yourself don't even know what's physically going on in your brain. And it's like you want to break it down, but yet you sound like a little culty, a little crazy, and you don't know how to break it down to people without sounding like that, you know. And it's your friends ask you if you're okay, and it's like, yeah, I'm okay. And they're like, well, you know, let's hang out, let's go get this and this. And it's like, no, I'm gonna stay in. And you know, you're in hermit mode, like you're reflecting. You know, you're in solitude, which is fine to be in solitude sometimes, but you have to snap out of it. You should really only stay in it for so long, because if you overthink something or analyze something, or, you know, you're putting way too much, you know, thought into it and just, you know, breaking things down so logically. And it's just like, you can't do that every time. You can't, like, once, when you overthink it's so powerful, and it gets stuck in your subconscious, and it is so hard to clear out your subconscious. Okay. um so it's real important to um you know, you can be stuck in it for a little while, but don't let it overtake your life. I mean, this spiritual journey really overtook my life to the point where I left work. You know, I left my job trying to figure out what it is I needed to do in my life, like what my next step was. Um, so, you know, you're not alone. And it's hard because a lot of people do go on this journey alone. It's tough. So I want to be able to be there for you and kind of share my story. As time goes on, and through different videos. Um, but bottom line, I really want you to look at things differently, because I read differently. And that's the reason why, obviously, I'm here. And some readers might be like, oh my gosh, you know, I wouldn't have broke it down that way. Well, that's okay, because that's why I'm here. I break it down my way so you can understand, and you do have a new outlook. And when you have a new outlook, ultimately, you're going to be more successful. Um, so many things, so many notes, and I don't even know. It's just like, why bother, you know? Because this is me. This is what I'm doing. This is nothing I ever thought I'd be doing. But it's like you reflect, and it's like, what is it you want to do with your life? And it's like, I don't know, but I do know, and I for sure know that, like, you know, tarot was never going to leave me, because this was my way of connecting with source. So I knew this was going to not go anywhere. This was staying in my life. And you know, I prayed new beginning, new beginning. All I want is a new beginning. Well, I was trying to like process my cards, and I'm like, holy shit, this is my new beginning. Like, this is my ace. This is my go. This is my green light. Like, take the freaking risk, okay? And just do it. Like, and then I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? You know, I've never done this. How am I supposed to break this down? This is, you know, this is scary. This is a whole new way of looking at things. What are people going to think? Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does and it doesn't, but ultimately, you have one life. Like, this is your life. Enjoy it. You know, like, do what it is you want to do in a way you want to do it. It's just like, to me, it's like, it's so eye-opening. And you know, I didn't change religions. Like, I'm still I'm still core. Like, I'm still who I am. Do I know, am I a lot more educated about different religions? Absolutely. For me, it's spiritual. It's a journey. It's precious, you know, and it changes the way you look at things, and where you want to go in life, and who you want to be, and what do you want to do, and do you want to inspire people? Do you want to motivate people? You know, do you want people to look at things differently? Which makes sense, because everybody that knows me, I am not the average person, but they all love me for me because of who I am and how I love and what I bring to the table. And maybe this is why I'm here. Like, maybe this is why this is what I'm supposed to be doing is so important, so I can reach all those other people that are going through something. And I don't think people touch enough base on what a journey really is. Like, oh, I'm gonna read these cards for you, and I'm gonna tell you this is what your soulmate's up to, and oh, great and dandy, that's awesome. You know, when I watch videos like that, it gives me anxiety. It gives me anxiety because it's like, great, blah 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 blah. What is he doing? And it's like, stop. Live your life. Live in the moment. And you know how it's so hard to live in that moment. Like, that is the hardest thing for me, especially when it came to like yoga and breathing and meditating. It still is the toughest thing for me to this day. It gives me anxiety thinking like, I got to breathe a certain way in order to perform meditation properly. It's not how it works. Everything comes to you when it comes to you, the way it's supposed to. And I truly believe that, because if it didn't, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be having this conversation with you. Trust me, I never thought this is where I would be on YouTube and sharing my story. So I just want to I want people to relate to me. I want to be able to motivate them. I want to be able to, coach them in a certain way, where they understand. I can't be the only one that thinks the way I think. There's no freaking way. Um, there's a reason I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm proud to be doing it. Is this intimidating? Is it scary? Is this going to be throwing people off like, whoa, yeah, of course. But I'm so proud of me. Like, I'm so proud of me. Like, I even asked, like, my cards and my mysticals, and I'm just like, how do you want me to do this? What am I supposed to do? And it's just like, be you. Do you. Like, take this opportunity. Do what it is you do. Teach people about your journey. Like, people just break things down so differently. And it's just like, people, they just don't get the spiritual aspect of a journey unless you are spiritual. So many people are like, oh my God, you're on a journey. And people think like, oh, spirituality. There's so many different kind of spiritualities that I think people like don't realize. It really just depends on how deep you are. I'm still the same person. Well, I'm not the same person, but I'm the same person. I'm still Court. I still wanna go meet you out for a drink. I still wanna go dance, and I still wanna hang out with my friends. That hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is my outlook. And in all reality, if it wasn't for me changing my outlook, I certainly would not be here. And I know whatever this is going to be big, and that's me having confidence, but that's me knowing. That's my inner knowing that this is going to be something, and this is what I was supposed to do. And it's overwhelming because this is nerve-wracking, and I do get anxiety, and I do think differently, and I do let things overtake my mind sometimes, and I know you shouldn't, and obviously, but you sit with it for so long and you move on. No one wants to stay stagnant. No one wants to be in the same situation. You repeat that cycle like over and over and over and over again, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like, recognize what it is that you're doing wrong so you don't have to repetitively do the same thing. Like, nobody wants to continuously be stuck. So like, when that happens and you look at something and you realize like, this is why I'm stuck, look at it differently. Look at it in a different freaking perspective, because that changes your outcome. Like, it changes where you're at and where you should be going and what you should be doing next. Because it's like, oh, hello, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have a freaking fabulous day. Okay? I don't know. That's how I want to wake up. That's what I want. That's the kind of motivation I want. I don't want to wake up and be like, all right, I got to do A, B, C, and D, and this day is gonna freaking suck. Okay? You're gonna have days like that, but don't go into your day like that. Is the bottom line. Like, don't go into it like that. Okay? There's so many things I want to touch base on, but I guess the bottom line. For me in this moment is just, really getting myself out there and putting my name out there, and just having a new outlook on life, and where this is going to take me, and where I'm going with this. And I hope I can reach a lot of people. I really, really do, because this is just, it's so incredibly tough. To go through what it is I'm going through. It's not, I'm just, hey, I'm a tarot reader. No, no, this is a journey. It is a spiritual journey, and there's no going back. Again, I don't want to go back, but and I don't mean that in a weird way. It's just my outlook has changed, so it makes me a better person, and it makes me want to help people. It makes me want people. I want people to realize, like, you're not alone. You're not the only way that thinks the way you think. You're not the only one that breaks things down the way you break things down. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, there's so much. But I'll touch base on certain things when I start making my videos. I just wanted to get this intro video out there. I did set up a Facebook and an Instagram. I will, add those links to my YouTube channel for you guys to, go check out, subscribe. Leave comments. I want to know what you think. I want to know if you're relating to me. You know, if you don't relate to me that week, then so be it. Don't try to relate to me. That's key. That is so key in anybody's reading. Do not try to relate to it if you do not relate to it. Okay? Move on, or check your signs, check your different signs. Maybe you relate more to your rising sign or your ascending sign that week, or maybe, especially my love readings, maybe you're going to relate to your Venus, maybe you're not. It depends. And when you cross watch, just be conscious of what it is that you take in, because unless you know that person's all their four signs, or where their Mercury's at, that's why I said planets are super important too. And so just be conscious of how you're really absorbing what it is you're absorbing when you watch any reader. Everybody is going to relate to things differently. That's why I'm here. I'm really hoping that I can help and guide you along, um, so you look at things in a new light. Really, really is going to change your day. I went over a few things. My stones, I'm big on stones. I love stones. As much as I love crystals and tarot, I love my stones and my elephants. All right, well, I think that's it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I really I feel like I touched base on enough where you kind of know where I'm at, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is why I'm doing what it is I am going to do, and I am going to dedicate my time to this. This is my career right now. This is my path. This is what I'm definitely choosing to do. And again, very nerve-wracking, but I am very proud of myself. So good job, Court. Pat myself on my shoulder, toot my own horn. Why not? I've achieved a lot. I've gone on this journey alone, and it's not that I didn't have my friends and family. It's you only tell them so much because you don't want to sound nuts. But I don't know, what are you gonna do? I want you to wake up and feel like a better person. I just want you to find what your purpose is, and it's not gonna be easy. It's not, but in the long run, ultimately, it's just such an amazing feeling, especially to be where I'm at and what I've accomplished. And it's like I put myself through school. Like, I've dedicated the last year, if not more, to studies. And it's like I'm not perfect, but I'm an apprentice. I'm definitely like mastering what it is that I love to do, and before I'm a complete master and I have all this wisdom and I have my inner knowledge, but like it takes years and years and years and years and years, your whole life, you can just absorb stuff, so it's just, I love it because I'm constantly learning about new things, and then I get to teach and talk about new things. And I don't know, I'm really excited, and I'm really looking forward to 2018, and my new beginnings, like, hey, like, here's your opportunity, Court, like, take it. Sometimes people think it's foolish to take a risk, but I look at it like, are you, when you take a risk, is it, is an illusion? Are you crazy? Are you thinking things through? Or, you're going to take that risk, and on the other side of risk is fortune, like, is it, like, for me, I know it's going to be prosperous, like all the way around. Like, it's just going to be abundant when it comes to, wealth, health, education, love, like everything, every aspect of my life, will just be abundant. I know it will, because of my outlook and how I feel, and the connection I feel, is pretty amazing. So again, we all have our thing. We all have our vices, and I'm not one to judge. I always had an opinion, but I definitely learned not to be judgmental, and it's tough. But you know, I don't know. Well, thank you for watching my introduction video, and I definitely look forward to touching base and definitely touching a lot of people's lives, and hopefully really having you look at things in a new perspective. Um, and that's just, even if I only reach, umpteen people, then, you know, I helped umpteen people, and that makes me feel good about myself, that I can help whoever it is that needs help and can understand the way I understand things. So it's pretty important that I get that message out. I guess that's it. I wish you all a very, very good day. I'm in New England, so it's freezing, so stay warm. And I look forward to reading for you guys. Have a great day.